Long before time had a name, in the time before time, storytelling was very much an afterthought for LEGO. The first themed LEGOLAND sets from the classic eras lacked the staple of modern LEGO storytelling. There was no epic quest, no magical relics to save the world, or even a villain to fight. There were only idyllic townsfolk, brave knights, and adventurous spacemen. They had no backstories, or even names. Who these minifigures were and what world they inhabited was left to your imagination. Through the 80s, we saw a pair of Jim's Spaceborne comics, following a young boy and his robotic companion on adventures on various worlds. To my knowledge, these were the first LEGO comics ever made. It wasn't until the turn of the decade, with the arrival of classic pirates, that we saw more LEGO comic books, and even some audio dramas, though many of these were made exclusively for European, specifically German markets. The stories were written around existing sets, acting as supplementary marketing material rather than a definitive chronicle of the plot. The LEGO magazine also rose to prominence in the 90s, and were used to flesh out the stories and characters of the current LEGO themes. There was generally very little continuity at this time, especially between the comics and the audio dramas. It's worth briefly discussing the Time Cruisers line, a wacky time travel theme used in crossovers between the different LEGO worlds, with comics and audio dramas taking place across the timeline. Up to this point, we haven't seen a truly narrative-driven theme, but things were about to change in 2001, with the introduction of Bionicle. Bionicle was the result of years of planning and research, success and failure. The result was unlike anything seen before or since. Commercials, CD-ROMs, serialized comics, an interactive website, video games, books, movies. If any type of media existed, Bionicle had a presence there. As a character and story-driven property, the designers crafted an immersive world with a strong sense of continuity, and an expansive story Bible as the foundation of its world-building. The story had a simple premise. 6 heroic Toa, each imbued with unique elemental powers, wash up on the shore of the mysterious island. Each of these characters had distinct names, personalities, colors, and abilities that were easy for fans of all ages to grasp. Color coding was already popular in distinguishing characters in the toy market, but it was still a novel concept for LEGO. The many LEGO themes used color to identify characters and factions in the 90s. Bionicle made it a staple of the franchise, and has gone on to appear in many themes since. For many of us, our first experience with the Bionicle story was through Monog, or the Matanui online game. Monog showcased the Bionicle world unlike any other, and acted as the primary story vehicle for the first year. You saw the story through the eyes of an adventurous civilian, an almost childlike maturing chronicler. When he encounters the Toa, they seem larger than life. The narrative had an epic scope as we follow the Toa on their quest to defeat the evil Makuta by collecting the Masks of Power. Over the years, heroes and villains came, went, and came again as the Bionicle universe expanded, but it never lost its sense of continuity over its 10-year run. Bionicle also saw the first feature-length LEGO films, with a trilogy covering its respective year's main story and the other one. These experiments in different media, in video narrative and online, were critical in story-driven marketing going forward. However, LEGO focused on smaller-scale animation for the rest of the decade, with endearing but lower-budget televised specials, limited series, mini-movies, and stop-motion shorts. Along with Bionicle, we saw an increase in character and narrative-driven content such as Alpha Team and Knight's Kingdom in the New Millennium. These series saw their own story-driven comics, both in LEGO magazines and online. Knight's Kingdom, with its large-scale figures and collectible card game, even a Game Boy title, was clearly trying to mimic the character and narrative success of Bionicle, but the story was generally aimed at a younger audience with minimal dialogue and a high emphasis on visual storytelling, thanks to the gorgeous artwork by Mike Rayhawk. This is a great way to convey a story to a younger audience, inviting them to fill in the context of events with their own imagination. Still, the integration between set and story didn't even come close to Bionicle. This began to change with Exoforce. The manga-style theme was very character-driven, like Bionicle, with giant mecha piloted by uniquely hairstyled minifigures in their fight against the evil robots. Between its mini-movies and serialized online comic series, in addition to novels and games, Exoforce was second only to Bionicle in media presence for the year. Characters' names were prominently featured on the box art, and many of the boxes included a comic under the flap. After Exoforce, LEGO found a comfortable formula for their online themes. Named characters with a handful of online games, online bios, comics, and a mission to defeat the evil Dr. Inferno, to collect the power crystals causing dangerous earthquakes, or to find the lost city of Atlantis. If they were lucky, they might also get a mini-movie or even a TV special. With Bionicle drawing to a close, Hero Factory tried to fill the void with an aggressive marketing strategy and a series of televised specials each year. While Hero Factory was by no means unsuccessful, it never achieved the cultural impact of its predecessor. Then, 10 years after the tale of the Bionicle began, a two-part special aired on Cartoon Network, Ninjago, Masters of Spinjitzu, and it proved to be a runaway success. Ninjago had a little of everything: colorful characters, magical weapons, awesome vehicles, and a strong sense of continuity. Not to mention a memorable voice cast, fantastic musical score, and unexpected character work. LEGO's finally found its new evergreen theme, quickly ordering a full television series to accompany the next year's line of sets. The series saw millions of viewers each week, climaxing with the final battle at the end of the theme's planned 3-year run. The finale drew more than 3 million viewers, and further seasons were quickly commissioned. After this, the story team and set designer seemed to collaborate more closely, with references to the show appearing in the official sets. This integration elevated the world building and roleplay potential of the theme. While Ninjago had comics, novels, and video games, and even a theatrical film, the television series is regarded as the best way to engage with the story. While the Masters of Spinjitzu label was retired from the TV series in 2018, its successor series is running strong with 2 waves each year. LEGO's attempted other television series with Chi-Men Nexo Knights, each nearly finishing their planned 3-year runs before cancellation, but they never managed to replicate Ninjago's spark. While the previous decade brought us 4 direct-to-DVD Bionicle movies and The Adventures of Clutch Powers, we only saw a theatrical film in 2014 with the release of the LEGO Movie. The film was applauded by audiences and critics alike, proving that plastic bricks had a place on the big screen as well as on television. The LEGO Movie has given us the strangest and most unique models in any theme ever, with flying castles, cyborg pirates, and double-decker couches. Equally memorable are its characters with roots in many LEGO themes: a city construction worker, a retro spaceman, a Cape Crusader. Suddenly, the boundaries between themes had been broken, all because it told a story from a child's perspective. Any set in your collection could fit into the LEGO Movie universe, because it wasn't just a theme, it represented the possibilities of imagination. It invited both old and young to create something different and new. While the other LEGO movies, well, maybe not that one, continued to explore this idea, no other piece of LEGO media achieved the same resonance as the first LEGO movie. Other than Ninjago, LEGO's continued to innovate with more online-oriented story content, such as the popular LEGO Friends or Hidden Side series. Even LEGO City has its own video games and a television series. Nowadays, LEGO is synonymous with storytelling, but whether it's a story you follow or create for yourself has always been up to you. LEGO gives you the tools to tell your own story. And the point of every good story is to spark the imagination and immerse yourself in a world. This could mean recreating the events from the plot, taking some creative liberties with the story, or using the premise as a springboard for your own adventure. Sometimes I worry that LEGO storytelling is stagnating. After the disappointing returns with the Ninjago movie and the LEGO Movie 2, we won't be seeing any theatrical films anytime soon, and the glory days of Ninjago are well behind us. LEGO's never stopped pushing the boundaries and trying new things, and I hope someday soon we'll see something equally groundbreaking. The next Bionicle, the next Ninjago, the next LEGO movie. We'll just have to wait and see what the future has in store. Thank you for watching all the way through. This is a much longer content than we usually do here on Club Brick, but it was a lot of fun to make. I know I glossed over some of the things in this video. There is a lot of LEGO media that has sprung up in recent decades, and I wanted to start off with more of an overview. I plan to go over what I missed in future installments of this series, and any other topic I find interesting. If there's a topic you want me to cover, please let me know in the comments. If you enjoy our content and haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to our channel or just leave a like. It really helps us out. Also, if you'd like to support my work here at Kield Labs, consider checking out my Bricklink store, the Professor's Stash, where I have Club Brick collectibles, including the Nefarious Red Bandit and Little Timmy's uniquely ruined pieces, in addition to a bunch of overpriced LEGO minifigures and paraphernalia that I haven't been able to find a use for. Use code CLUBBRICK with additional dialogue box at the checkout for a 10% off your order. Once again, thank you for watching. I am Professor Goat, and until next time, play well.